Hello and welcome to Soups and Sabers. My name is Jordan. We're going to be doing a Superman trailer reaction here in just a moment here. It looks like it came out early here, so we're going to add it to the stage, and we're going to get ready to watch this. Let's back it up. Here we go.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
This is cool.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for what some might.
A lot of fire.
It's a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
The fortress is incredible, man.
Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an
Oh,
it.
Metamorpho's in there with him.
He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
Okay, wow. So there's a lot here, right? 3 minute, almost 3 minute long trailer here. But we get this like beginning where Lois is interviewing Superman. Now, of course, like at the beginning here, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll let you interview me. And then when it actually gets to the interview, he starts getting a little, defensive. He doesn't think Lois is going to go in on him on this. And they kind of have a little bit of friction here. I really like this scene. What we see here, and I like seeing the dynamic between Lois and Clark here, and where they actually feel like, I would say, Lois and Clark. Like, she is doing her investigative job. We have... There's Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. He says he stopped a war, and we see that here. And that's what I think part of this is going to be about, right? Is his kind of the repercussions of him stepping into an international incident, which we've seen before in Superman. Recently, Superman and Lois, I think it was season 3 of that, maybe season 2, where he saves a North Korean sub. And ends up kind of putting them back on their own turf, or like not bringing them in. And the U.S. Department of Security type thing got really on his case about that, because they see, they were working with him. And I'm guessing maybe I don't know if he's been working with anybody or if it's just like you stand for, you're American, you're a hero, you are going into these conflicts when you shouldn't be. I think this story is going to kind of about being Superman stepping up from just being a Metropolis hero to potentially a worldwide hero, where he is stepping up into international incidents and making saves around the world instead of just Metropolis and maybe America, right? Like I'm kind of thinking of like the Justice League cartoon where we had seen Superman doing a lot in Metropolis in the Superman animated series, but you get to the Justice League cartoon and he and the rest of the Justice League are starting to do stuff outside of Metropolis, starting to kind of interfere with other stuff, making saves around the world and having the Watchtower and stuff. I don't know if we're going to get fully that, but I think this might be the first step to that. And that might be why this story is kind of the first one to kick off the DCU in the terms of film. So that's something think about. We kind of get Lex here talking about Superman as well at some point. But and that was the point there. Lois is saying like, you are, what's the word I'm looking for? You are like acting as like not on your own behalf type of thing. And he's like, no, I'm representing me. That's the word, representing. Like, I'm representing me. I'm not representing anything. All of this intercut with him making saves, I think that's a really cool balance of like having this philosophical debate on if what he's doing is what he should do, and then showing him do those saves. And even this, where you see this guy like help him out of there, it's like, does Superman actually need the help? No, but this is kind of showing maybe that part of Metropolis is on his side. We saw the guy throwing the can, which maybe is somebody that is not on his side. Now we have somebody that is helping him back up. Kind of the moment from Spider-Man 2, right? When they're helping Peter, getting him his mask back and being like, oh, he's just a kid and all that kind of stuff. I kind of see that here where it's like, let me help Superman up. Does he really need my help? No, but like it's almost like a symbol, right? Of we're on your side, dude. Go back up there and kick some butt. We also see what we've heard called the Hammer of Boravia from like the behind the scenes footage. I think it was that he was called that, but that's the guy in the gold suit. And I think that's who he's talking about here. Where he goes up in the sky and says, hey, eyes up here, buddy. We got the fortress and we got the engineer going into the fortress with Lex and stuff. And we see, one of the robots down on the right here. And we have Crypto who's like barking like, all right, I'm going to take you out here. And they do fight. Like, so here's the engineer taking out some of the other robots. Lex is in the fortress. We have Crypto fighting the engineer. I quite like that. We have Superman breaking out of his cage there. Also making a save as this person was going to get crushed by the kaiju. I like that. We get a little bit more of this thing here, right? That people have been wondering what this is. Lots of theories, lots of people saying it's definitely this, it's definitely that. We'll see what it is. Little flashback here. Flashback of Clark and Jonathan. Cut in with this, like, hey, being who you are type of thing. We have Mr. Terrific fighting some people here. We have Lex complaining about Superman. Here it is. So this is the cage I think he's bursting out of. Here's Metamorpho. Here, these are Lex's gangs here. So this is going to be, I guess, Lex having a holding cell for people. Metamorpho, we were kind of thinking might be part of that Justice Gang. He hasn't shown up in any of the Justice Gang stuff. So what I would actually think is maybe Lex is maybe working with Stag's Industry, or Lex has his own place here with LexCorp and has Metamorpho as a testing subject as well, or has captured him. Maybe like kind of a Metamorpho origin story in this movie. Not that he's the focus, but maybe this will be like the first time he's actually out there doing stuff. And he's, you know, in here with Superman. We have the Lex people here. Oh, look, there's somebody else in the back here that jumps up like, hey, what are you doing? Interesting. Superman rising from the smoke. I like that. Here's the Justice Gang. We have Mr. Terrific in his little, you know, with his orbs, T-spheres around him. We have Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, powering up that ring. And we have Hawkgirl right there. Inside the baseball stadium, we knew he was fighting what we're calling Ultraman. He's also fighting the Engineer here. So I think that's a pretty cool little bit of an update. Little scene of Martha, you know, being like, oh, I'm going to go get your boots. I cleaned them. Clark looks, I think that moment is going to be near the end of the movie. I really do. I think it's like him going back home. And if I had to think about it, he's so beaten down by the reception he's been getting recently. And he's back home. We see like Lois there too with him while he's like maybe hurt and his parents kind of like taking care of him. He has the conversation with his dad. We get the flashback. We get the conversation with his mom there. And he looks so determined, like, all right, I am going to turn around and do this now. Like, I am going to go ahead and do whatever. Something else is happening in the city, and he's got to get right back up again and go out there and save the day. So I think that's kind of what we're seeing there. And I'm thinking it might be he's back in the with the floating thing outside. I think it might be related to that, but I guess we'll see. Here he is fighting the kaiju. Oh, can we see what that says back there? See if I can time this right. New regulations set to begin next week. Ooh, so I wonder if this is regulations on Heroes or if this is just regulations, whatever else they're talking about. Energy regulations, business regulations, stuff like that. But pretty cool there, seeing that. There's Green Lantern again. Hawkgirl pushing somebody out the window. We get Jimmy and Clark here. I'm pretty sure that's Tashmacher right here with the selfie. Hold on, let's go back. Can we go back there? With the hammer of Baravia right there. Or it's just a regular, this might just be a normal person taking a selfie like, oh, look at what's going on here. But we'll see. Oh, we had Lex staring down with somebody. Who's Lex staring down with here? Is Clark? Looks like Clark. In his Superman stuff. That kind of looks like, that might be the blue collar of the suit. If so, I like this. I like this a lot. Even if it's Clark. I really like this, like, Lex just sipping his coffee right in front of his face here. We got Lois hanging out with Mr. Terrific. That was a shot of Metamorpho. Superman flying through something. Then we got them kissing in the little mall or whatever that is. Flying up in the sky. People cheering Superman. Boom. That looks like he's falling backwards again, huh? So he goes up and then gets his butt beat. That's what it looks like. Oh, this might be when he hits the ground and the people help him out. Then Lois being like, oh, you have a dog? And we get the nice shot from the Milkbone ad again here of Crypto laying on him. Theaters, July 11th. All right, let's just see if there's anything else that we did not mention that I should be mentioning here. Let's watch it again.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
So one thing I didn't mention here that's an obvious is that she knows he's Superman at some point, right? Or knows the whole time.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
I love that. Miss Lane. He
Recently,
sounds just
you've
like
come
Superman.
Under a lot of fire for
I
what
know,
some
it's a
might.
lot of
It's
fire.
a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions.
Rick Flag.
That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president? Are you being
Oh,
serious?
I just restarted it. I didn't mean to do that. Here, we'll go forward a bit. I meant to pause because what I'm thinking of here, one thing that's interesting me in all of this is we see Rick Flag Sr. with Ultraman and with the engineer while they're arresting Superman. We also see Ultraman and the engineer with Lex going into the fortress. So Lex, I think, might be playing a little bit like behind the scenes roles here of getting those people into the government or onto Rick Flag Sr.'s team. I don't know. Like, that's kind of where I'm leaning on that, of they are like the fact that we're seeing them in two different instances. I don't think Rick Flag Sr. is working with Lex, right? Like, I don't think he dislikes Superman or anything. Like, we've seen him in Creature Commandos working with superpowered people and being okay with them, right? So I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's almost like he's doing his, I guess, just following through with his job, the Secretary of Defense being like, hey, Argus, can you arrest this guy for this international incident? Or maybe Rick Flag Sr. does think, hey, maybe he shouldn't have stepped outside the bounds. But I mean, we seriously just saw him go through Creature Commandos where he was doing shady stuff for Argus, right, as well. So maybe it's a new Leaf situation. Maybe it's something else, but just something to think about on, are they working for Lex secretly while working for the government? Talking about Ultraman and the engineer, or is he like, I'm loaning these, like how some people, I'm loaning these to the government to help out with this situation.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny.
My actions? I stopped a war.
Again, just the way he says that is
Maybe.
so Superman.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you
So here we are. Look, there's
illegally
Ultraman. There's the
entered a
engineer
country.
with Grillo, and the military.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will cause
anybody
more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and
So there's the Hammer of
consider the
Baravia here.
consequences.
People were going to die.
So now the nations that we know of are called Boravia, where he interferes with. So I'm wondering if one of the things that happens is he interferes, gets arrested, gets out, right? Because of public sentiment. But then, because he acted on that other nation, the Hammer of Baravia is like, oh, you interfere with our nation, I'm interfering with yours, and comes in and starts blasting away, and Superman has to stop him, where he comes back for revenge against Superman. That's something to think about as well. And it could be, I've seen rumors that people think it's not rumors, but people speculating it's Ultraman in that suit before he's revealed as Ultraman, or he's doing both. One of them, maybe it's a precursor to the Lex suit. The suit logo kind of looks like the Nuclear Man suit. So there's a lot going on here.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Crypto. He better not get hurt here, by the way. I don't think he can.
Choices. Your actions. That.
So this is the scene I was talking about, is maybe after he has that talk with his mom, which is, I'll get your boots and stuff. He's here like saying goodbye to Lois in case if something goes wrong.
What makes you who you are?
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
Do you have a dog?
All right. Well, there we have it. There we have it. I'm very optimistic about the movie. I'm pretty sold on it. I think actually seeing David Cornsweet talk as Superman is another big selling point in his relationship with Lois. Looks really interesting in this movie, where she's like, "All right, you're gonna let me interview. I'm gonna push you on some important issues here." So I don't know. I'm very, very excited for this. I think the action looks great. I think the CG looks great. And I still don't feel like I know, like, while I've been sitting here speculating, pausing stuff and being like, oh, that maybe this leads to this scene, this leads to this scene, doesn't mean it's going to play out that way. And it doesn't mean that, like I said, that it's going to play out that way. And it could go a totally different way because of just the way some of this stuff is structured. Like, I'm still not exactly sure when the kaiju fight happens or, when some of this stuff happens. So, overall, very looking forward to it. What we're going to have, I'm going to release this today, the day of the trailer. We're going to do our kind of deep dive discussion about the trailer on the podcast on Saturday. We're recording it on Saturday, so it'll probably be up late Saturday, Sunday. Just schedule-wise was the only other day we could record and get this out there due to some busy schedules. So, but I wanted to be able to take a moment and do this at least, so that way we have something up there, and I feel like, be able to, almost for my own sake, mark down my reaction as the trailer was releasing. So thank you all. You can follow us at SupesandSabers on all of our social media, and we'll catch you next time.